ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Cyclopses that are in the building, to Dr. David Ezra, my Hebrew mentor, and to all of the FTAIM family, Bishop McCullough, Bishop Cross, Bishop Washington, the First Ladies, the members, Pastor McCullough, to our leader, Asriel Moore, to the President, Ibrahim Traore. Yes. Look at us here in a Donald Trump ceasefire. Wow. See, 12-day war, 13-day war, 14-day war. Oh, I'm sorry, Donald. I get so confused with the megalomaniac prognostications of Donald Trump. I'm so confused. Can I catch you up? Let me catch you up. Okay. So Donald Trump and Benny having their own private little war with themselves and Iran, 100 million people who belong to the Middle East, actual people who are Middle Eastern. After it's clear that Israel was not making a lot of headway, even though they declared that they controlled the airspace over Iran, they declared this and they declared that, while they're getting pummeled by ballistic missiles they cannot stop. Donald declares he's going to have a 2-week decision on what he's going to do with Iran. Well, that 2-week decision turned into 2 days and sends 14 bombs to Iran. 14 bombs. And without Congress weighing in, decides that he is going to take matters into his own hands and send stealth bombers, they're referred to as stealth bombers, to drop a massive payload in Iran. After that, without, again, Congress, an illegal strike, and without Congress's say-so, which is what a president can do, should do, has to do, utilize Congress to declare war on a sovereign nation that you're not at war with, and a war that's happening between another country altogether, and your foreign policy that says that you don't want to get into foreign wars. Doesn't go to his MAGA base, doesn't go to Congress, doesn't do anything like that, and decides to drop 14 bombs on a sovereign nation. That nation returns fire, attacks the biggest populated base in the Middle East, Qatar, sends 14 missiles of their own to Qatar. Says, here you go. Thank you very much. Here you go. Those 14 missiles in Qatar, after those 14 missiles strike Qatar, out of nowhere, Donald Trump declares that the war is over. The war is over as a ceasefire. Both sides have agreed to end all strikes in a very interesting way. He says Iran will stop hitting Israel, and 12 hours later, Israel will stop hitting Iran. You stop shooting at me, and after you stop shooting at me, 12 hours later, I will stop shooting at you. And then we will have peace. And then he concludes it. God bless America. God bless Israel. And God bless Iran. No other military could have done it. No other president could have done it. It would have taken years. I did it in 12 days. I solved the Middle East crisis in 12 days. Well, apparently missiles were already in the doggone air while he was making this speech. A couple of missiles hit Israel. Israel vowed, says, oh, they broke the ceasefire. Because we know Netanyahu doesn't want to end any kind of war. We all of us know that. All of us know who Benny is. Benny is a warmonger. Benny does not want a war to stop. He doesn't want a war to stop for any reason. Right? And then they don't say Benjamin Netanyahu orders strikes. They say Israel orders strikes. The government of Israel, they take Benjamin's name out of it like he's not the guy. And they're going to strike back. Trump says, don't drop those bombs. Don't. You both broke it. You both broke it. You both broke it. I tried. It was a great deal. It was a fantastic deal. They both broke it. I told them not to do it. And now it's just going to be chaos in the Middle East. But I did my part. I ended the war. But then they started another one. So this is not the 12-day war. This is a brand new war because my war is over. This guy's a comedian. This guy is a comedian. It's a comedy show between him and reality. But let's get into actual what's happening here and have a real conversation between actual intelligent people, of which none live in the White House. I cannot leave out that J.D. Vance also got on television last night and said, this is amazing what the president's doing. Who went on Truth Social and undercut him he was going to say one thing and then he undercuts him and declares the war's over. The president's ended the war without any U.S. lives being taken, and et cetera, et cetera. They really believe life is a 30-minute sitcom that ends with good stories on behalf of America all the time. It's a 30-minute sitcom. It's the 80s, and where all the problems in your episode get ended in 30 minutes, 27 minutes, 26 minutes with commercials. It doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. And you have struck a sovereign nation, and that nation said, we're smarter than you. We know where to hit you. And we're going to destroy this country. This country here, Israel, we're going to destroy it. We're going to destroy it. And then we can talk ceasefire. We're going to do what they did to Gaza. And then we can talk ceasefire. And it's interesting too, because they talk about, the attack on our base in Qatar, which wasn't the only base that was attacked. It was Qatar, it was Iraq, it was Bahrain. It was light, it was weak. It was 14 missiles. They're just doing it to save face. We struck most of them down. So it wasn't a big deal. And they told us they're coming. It's so crazy how these narratives are spun, And I have a couple of friends, and they, I have a group, and I send stuff in there. And they're Indian guys. One guy's an Indian guy. It's like, Iran lies. It lies. This is fake news. They lied. I was like, brother, I think it's clear that the Americans and the Israelis are doing their fair share of lying. And to be very honest with you, until this last thing here where Iran says, listen, I don't know how those missiles got in the air. It wasn't us. I haven't heard anything that sounded like lies from Iran. I haven't. What is wrong with these Yanks? I know. Exactly. Can they even find Iran on a map? It's very clear, They don't know where the Middle East starts and stops. But I haven't heard on Iran really say any lies. I haven't heard any lies from Iran, right? That I can consider questionable up until this last, these last few missiles here. And said Iran said it's not us. It wasn't us. And you know what? Let's get into that. Let's give Iran the benefit of the doubt that no one does. Let's give Iran the benefit of the doubt. Let's say these missiles were not Iran. Who could they be? I'll tell you who they could be. Netanyahu is not against sending missiles to his own people, sending missiles and striking his own nation to keep a war going and blaming it on Iran. Netanyahu is very capable of that. That's a very capable thing. Some people, oh, that's ridiculous. Why would he do that? Why would he want to do that? Because he doesn't want to end this war. He doesn't want to end this war. And it's very clear that the missile capability of Iran is, they seem to be doing just fine. Oh, we've destroyed most of their missile launchers. We're controlling their airspace. We're doing this. We're doing that. The war is over. We've obliterated their nuclear program. They can't build it back. But they're still striking the crap out of everybody. Okay? Because I don't know what you think you like. First of all, let's give a hand clap to Iran. Like, the people that strategically placed all of those missiles all over your country, underground, under mountains, firing these things at will. You've killed most of their generals. Those things still keep coming. Those things are on auto response. Kudos to you, buddy, because their defensive system ain't a joke. I mean, it's not a joke. When you consider all these missiles of various different types, various different grades and sophistication of all these missiles, firing at will while they're allegedly their country is being pummeled, their airspace is being controlled, etc., etc. And no one seems to know where all these things are, because the more you strike Iran is the more missiles that keep coming. How many doggone missiles does Iran have? Seems like they got a whole lot of missiles. Whole lot of. And they've been waiting for this. They've been preparing for this. It's very interesting to see how long Iran can go and keep striking. Because it's coming. Lots of stuff is coming, seemingly. Every day. And they'll send those little ridiculous missiles up there and say, yeah, we're gonna send a couple of these old ones. We know you can strike these down. We'll bombard your system. We'll waste your munitions, right? We'll make sure you have to spend more money to replace your arrows, because we know every time you send one of those up, it's a couple $1,000,000. So they'll do that. And then we'll hit you with the one we really want to hit you with. Bam! They're like, we're going to strike right into the heart of Tehran. It's crazy to me. But at the end of the day, sometimes, I had a conversation with a brother at work. Sometimes it really seems like these things are all orchestrated. Are these things being orchestrated to raise the prices of oil? Are they being orchestrated to change the trajectory of military stock? Are they being orchestrated out of the machismo and ego of the man sitting in the White House? Like, we already know the orchestration of this, the initiation rather of this, is because of a madman in Israel. We know that. We know that man in Tel Aviv is a mental case. We know he's an unstable person, and that is not my diagnosis only. That's a diagnosis of individuals in his country. He's an unstable human being with a bloodlust to either destroy Iran, or what I really think his bloodlust is, I really think what he believes, I really think who Netanyahu is he is a religious zealot, right? A religious zealot that believes that he will usher in the Messiah, because his mentor rabbi told him he would. His mentor rabbi told him, the Rebbe who died, told him, you will be the prime minister and you will usher in the coming of the Messiah, right? And I'll tell you right now, and I don't care what any of you say, that guy had dementia for a very long time. That crazy ribeye steak, the rabbi, whatever you want to call him, he had dementia for a very long time. That was a crazy person that everybody was catering to and thinking he's this big spiritual guy. His followers believe that he will return, his body will resurrect, and he will come back as the Messiah. His followers believe that guy. That Jew that never went to Israel, that Brooklyn rabbi, him, that's who Benny is following the manuscript of. And you go watch it. You go watch Benny and the Rebbe, whatever the heck they call him. Okay? That is what I believe Netanyahu is motivated by. A bloodlust for Iran and a mentality that he has to usher in the Messiah. Now let me give you something that you can sink your teeth into. And some of you might not accept it, but I accept it, and I think a lot of people accept it. When you read the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, I want you to check it out. There's a conversation of a last days war that takes place between Gog and Magog, which is Russia and China, effectively. And it talks about that a force of other nations will be there. It mentions Cush, which is Egypt. It mentions Libya, and it mentions Persia. There's no mention of America. America does not show up in biblical prophecy as America. It shows up as another name, and I'll mention that in a minute. But what's clear is the ushering in of the Messiah. There is an attack that is taking place with Egypt, with Persia, with Russia and China against the people of Yahweh. And this is what this means to me. It means that Persia, Iran, has a part to play in the ending of the world. And that there will never be a time prior to Messiah coming that Iran will not be a country. And according to Ezekiel 38, Israel is left in a dilapidated state, a city with no walls. It says, you thought that you would come up against a city with no walls. Israel is helpless. The last days, Israel does not have the support of America or any other nation. It is left defenseless to fight its enemies by itself. It is in a compromised, vulnerable position. And then Messiah steps in to save what's left. Persia will never be a non-factor, a non-state. Persia has more longevity than the Western world. So does Egypt, so does Libya. The center of the world's basin, the ancient basin of the world, they will usher in the Messiah. Now, who is America in biblical prophecy? And why is it that Israel will have no allies at this time? Biblical prophecy mentions another city. It calls it a city, but it's really a nation, and it's an allegory. And it's saying Babylon the Great has fallen. This great city that has fornicated with kings of all the kings of the world, made themselves rich and fornicated with her. That city is fallen. Yes, I believe that Babylon the Great to be America. That America falls before even Israel falls. And America is left in a place where America can't even help itself. Whether it's militarily or otherwise, we don't know. But apparently it's fallen. And it says that people weep for America. The world weeps because this great nation is fallen. The reason that I make that comparison is because Ezekiel 38 demonstrates an Israel that has no allies, and America being its greatest ally, and in my opinion, its only real ally. It would be very unlikely for Israel to be left in such a vulnerable position unless America was no longer America. That's what I got. And so everything that Trump is trying to do, up until yesterday, this is what I was going to say, to try to obliterate Iran, you're cutting your own throat, because Yahweh needs Iran to be in the last days movement. Iran, Libya, Egypt, right? Russia and China have more to do with the last days than Babylon the Great. A lot of people have said, no, Babylon the Great, that's the Catholic Church. No, it's not the Catholic Church. It's not the Catholic Church. It doesn't stand the test of the Catholic Church. And trust me, when the Catholic Church falls, what is it? What is it that's falling? Like, where? It's not a nation, it's not a city. I know the Vatican is a city, the city of Vatican, and blah, blah, blah. You know, the Vatican City, and it's a nation, and it's a city unto itself, and when the Vatican falls, the world will cry. It's fornicated with so many kings. That's not it, baby. That's not it. That is not it. First of all, no one's hunting to kill the Pope. They're calling one man at this time the supreme leader, and his name is Ayatollah. He's called the supreme leader. And have you ever listened to this man? Have you ever listened to what the things he says are? Ayatollah doesn't want any nuclear weapons. He doesn't believe in nuclear weapons, doesn't believe in chemical weapons. They don't believe in that. Do you guys know that the second largest population of Jewish people, that's what they call themselves, is in Iran? And they don't call themselves Israelis, they call themselves Iranian Jews. Did you know that? Did you know that? This is not the Muslims versus the Jews. It's not that. This is Netanyahu versus the world by himself. And his dumb crony, Donald Trump. And Donald's this is check number one. Donald is going to realize Netanyahu cannot be trusted to make him look good. Netanyahu will always make him look bad, because Netanyahu is running the show, making you think you're running the show, but you're not. Netanyahu's running the show, buddy. And so he's like, don't drop those bombs. Don't drop those bombs. They're dropping those bombs. They're not listening. Netanyahu has never listened to a single American president. He's only manipulated one, and that's Donald Trump. Donald Trump. And it's coming very close to a time, and this is why I'm saying it, where America is going to break ties with Israel. America will break ties with Israel. Has to happen. It will happen. Israel will commit too many war crimes. Israel will commit too many war crimes. People always blow me up in the morning. You know I'm on this doggone thing. Israel will commit too many war crimes to force the hand of America. And they will say, can't do this with you people anymore. Can't. It's too much. You guys are doing too much. And that'll be a wrap. So you look out for this. Israel has so many enemies, to the point that this is the first presidency that decided that it almost did not want to go to war for Israel and with Israel. First. I guarantee the next one will not. The next one will not want to go to war with this nation. They will not say, you know what? Let's go join forces with Benjamin Netanyahu and start creating some more wars. It's not going to do that, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to do it. And I think we got to recognize that the love affair between America and Israel is coming to a halt very quickly, very rapidly. It's coming to a close because biblical prophecy will be followed out. It will be fulfilled. And Israel will have to stand by itself. And Messiah will come. But I believe Netanyahu thinks that he is the man to bring it on. And that's why, if he is following the instructions of the rabbi, he believes clearly that he can never lose the war. And he will continue to fight until the end. The things that they put on television that Iran says, we will fight till the end. You don't know that's what Netanyahu wakes up to every morning. Every morning. And he's going to gather so many enemies that the world will encircle him. The world. I think I know how it's going to happen. Personally, I think he's going to send out a couple of nukes, and people are going to say, whoa, this guy is dangerous now. You're way too dangerous. We've got to take away your nuclear program. And when they come for Israel's nuclear program, that's when all hell will break loose in the earth. Because they will. And I'm telling you, and I'll say this right now. The disarmament of Israel is the safest thing for the world. To disarm that nation of its nuclear weapons, that's the safest thing to the world. And it's also the most dangerous thing to the world. Because if you come for Israel's nukes, you will get nuked. Simple as that. They will fight China, they will even fight America. They are never disarming. Because they believe that the entire world is an existential threat to their existence. Quoted from the mouth of Benny himself. And they will never allow inspectors in there. They will never allow anyone to look at their military arsenal, including America. And the world will gather around to say, this country must be disarmed. Going to be gathered around them are the people that are close to them and the people that are allies to the people that are close to them, including Iran. There you have it. That's all I got to say about that. This war is not going to be over. Trump is not going to save face here. He's not going to save face here. They're going to keep firing back and forth. He's going to have to pick a side. I think Netanyahu is going to embarrass him to the point where he can't even pick Netanyahu's side. And all of these great accolades that are going back and forth. Let me see, what have I got here? Yeah, they're going to be exasperated. They're going to be exasperated by the end of the day. So I'm quite interested to see what's next. So hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get really messy. I thought he was Jim Jones. Jim Jones. I look like Jim Jones. We need to pray for Israel. We need to pray for ourselves. There's no practicing Christianity in Israel. Exactly. I won't be praying for that nation. I won't be praying for Israel. I'll be praying for Netanyahu to get out of government. That's what I would like to see. I'm praying for the black people that are being marginalized, that are being unfairly treated. I pray for hegemony that Israel is trying to perpetuate on all other nations. I pray that those nations would rise up and stop it. The Israeli regime is an evil regime. I'm not praying for an evil regime. It's an evil regime. And if you don't think so, then you're not paying attention. It's a very evil regime. And everything they accuse Iran of, they are like that times 10. Times 10. Everything that they accuse Iran of, they are like that times 10. They're a very xenophobic society. They believe that their brand of Judaism is all that there is. And they are simultaneously simultaneously ritualistic and non-spiritual. How does that happen? How are you a ritualistic, non-spiritual person? Like, it's crazy. You have all these rituals, but you don't really believe in the God of the rituals. There is more agnostic and atheist Jews than there are probably everybody else in the world. How is that possible? That the people that belong to the historicity of the Bible don't even believe in the God of the Bible. It's incredible to me. And we need to pray for the people that they have targeted to murder and to assassinate in their beds, to the children that they have desired to starve. Pray for those people. For the leaders that they have secret plans to blow them up and their family. Pray for those people. And pray for yourself, because if Netanyahu could, he would send bombs everywhere in the world. So he is the most dangerous. He's probably the most dangerous human being that has been in the world since Hitler and since King Leopold II. And he is on King Leopold level as far as being a mass murderer, and he is on Hitler's level as far as an individual who's able to inspire others to commit wars with him. And Trump is basically only Mussolini. He's just a fascist joining a regime of other fascists, not realizing that he's really being led by Israel. And this is why smart people in America have said, why is our foreign policy being dictated by Israelis? Smart people in America said that. Tucker Carlson, I can't believe like I'm even endorsing some Tucker Carlson, but he's woken up since he's left Fox News. He's woken up. Piers Morgan has woken up. You know, even dingbat Candace Owens has woken up. All of these individuals that I wouldn't spit on if they were on fire, have woken up to realizing this great government that they've supported, these people that were great supporters of the American way, of Donald Trump specifically, of the Republican Party, they have woken up and realized that there's a bunch of idiots sitting there running their nation. Smart people have woken up to realize that. And I think what you have to realize is that you have very stupid and very dangerous people in very grievous positions of power in this world at this time. Very stupid, very dangerous people in positions of power. And every now and then you get a smart guy and you get a righteous person sitting in there, and they're not always the people you think. And it's going to sound really crazy, but I've listened to some of the things he said. I don't think the Ayatollah's a bad fella, to be honest with you. I don't think Putin's a dummy. And you know how we all feel about Abraham Traore. We know the president of France is a devil. We know that guy's a devil, a liar. And the list continues of the other individuals that are scary sitting around. And then there's the people who are, I would say, the cohorts of devils. And I think one nation that really has to be very careful with where it lines itself up, I think it's India. India has to be very careful, I believe. And Indians need to wake up to get their own identity. I mean, Indians have had the identity of Britain for so long. Now, you know, the Indian mentality is it wants to be more like America. I think India needs to have its own identity. They're very smart people. They've got their own nukes. They've got their own economy. They're sitting on top of 1 billion people of their own. They don't need to follow anybody else's lead. I think India needs to just be very aware of what it wants to be in these times. Similar to China. China has said, you know what, this is who we are, this is who we want to be, and we're going to be these people. North Korea has done the same, you know, and the African, the AIC nations in Africa have done the same. The Sahel nations have said, no, we want to be who we want to be. And I think India needs to do that too. And be careful who they line up with. Be careful who you jump into bed with. Because the world is not what you think it is. Simple as that. And when you start doing deals with these people, when you start listening to them, you'll see these folks are scarier. The people that the pundits have supported, that the West has supported, that the West has said, these are our people, they are scarier than the people that we have said, oh, those are our enemies. That's an evil regime. You are an evil regime. You are an evil regime. And I want you to remember, as I finish this off, I want you to remember Vietnam. I want you to remember that little communist nation that is still a little communist nation that is still run by the same government that America tried to overthrow, that big bad America went in there and tried to overthrow those Viet Cong, and those Viet Cong sent you behind packing. So do not believe in American military might as the do-all and end-all of all military incursions. Don't believe that, baby, because the force of the people will always win. Never forget that. It will always win. So I want you guys to just remember what I'm saying. Thank you very much, AB Promotions. AB Promotions always looking up. Look how the so-called chosen people are behaving in your chat. Speaks volumes. I'm just saying, somehow the so-called chosen people, the chosen to do what is the question. And you can be a chosen person, but what have you been chosen to do? Judas was chosen to betray Christ. He was chosen for that. The Sanhedrin were chosen to pass wrongful judgment. Herod was chosen also to be who he was. Pharaoh was chosen, and God said, I will harden his heart. Who have you been chosen to be? And your Zionistic mentalities are clear when your brothers are in Iran. Imagine, I am a devout Christian, and I'm the leader of a Christian nation, and I have vowed to destroy another nation that has the second most Christians after my nation. That's what you've done with Iran. You focus so visually on this Ayatollah regime, and there's a reason that they don't like you. The reason they don't like you is because you appropriated another people's land. You have systematically destroyed and committed an apartheid state in your own nation. You have created hegemony in your own nation. And yeah, there were some hardliners back in the day. There's some hardliners back in the day that were against you, that just didn't like you for the sake of not liking you. But now you have become the hardliner. You have become those people. And as long as you sit around allowing your government to starve people in Gaza, as long as you sit around and allow your government to continue to lie, allow your government to use you as walking martyrs for one man's war, as long as you do that and you never speak up against it, you are complicit, you are part of the problem, you are Haman. That's right. Go read the book of Esther. Many of you probably have never heard of it, right? You are Haman because you are participating in your own genocide. You're not Mordecai. You need to recognize what you are putting out into the world. That's my piece. Let me see what y'all got to say. Hello, Motivation Co, Decoy, Steven, Cedric Jones. What's going on, brother? Ring-a-ding-ding. What is wrong with these Yanks? I read that already. Denzel Washington. Yeah, I've been called that before. Thought the race that suffered the biggest genocide would be responsible for the next. Oh, that's a very interesting saying. It says in Revelation, if we don't stand with our Jewish brothers, the Christian faith will be destroyed. Please show me that Dylan Nye where it says that in Revelations. You can read Revelations. Let me help you. Go read Revelation 7. Revelation 7 from verse 1 to 9. And Revelation 7 will tell you that, oh, wait, do not hurt the earth, the grass, the trees, do not hurt the seas until we have sealed the servants of our God on their forehead. And then when you get to Revelation 7 and verse 9, it will say there was another multitude. Apart from the 144,000 sealed of the tribes of Israel, there's another multitude that no man can number. There never says anything like that in the scripture. Never says anything like that in the scripture. It says that who blesses Abraham, God will bless. And who curses Abraham, God will curse. Abraham. Doesn't say anything about the Jews. Doesn't say that. Okay? Don't get carried away with that. Read your Bible properly. Okay? Yeah. They're not practicing Christianity in Israel. Christianity, they don't even let you evangelize in Israel. They don't use the same Bible, you're right. They've rewritten their Bible to take out certain things. They've taken out Isaiah 7:14. They've changed it. It's not a virgin, it's a young girl, all these kind of things. I don't want peace. I'm a bigot. Okay. Netanyahu's just, wars come and go. This is a horrible situation. They're not even the real people of the book. We got a Kamala voter. I'm not an American. If you're a Christian, you should be praying. Yeah, I will be praying, but I won't be praying for the regime of Israel. If you're an anti-Semite, just say so. Afro-Shemitic people cannot be anti-Semitic. Okay, if you're the people in the Israelis are not Semitic people. You're playing with the juju beads. This is a Gambian Christian priest necklace. Let's keep going. Your lots of you don't pray for your enemies. They're not my enemies. They're not my friends. They're just people that are involved in their own tribal war. They have nothing to do with me. Your ignorance is dangerous. So is the ignorance of Benjamin Netanyahu. Stop behaving. Well, stop behaving like terrorists. I don't know who you mean. That means the Israelis, I'm sure. You guys should be aware that Israel's minister advocates a regime change. Exactly. They want to assassinate world leaders. Since 1996, he always sang the same song. Finally got what he wanted. Justin, do it right. What is your God's name? Maybe guys, you're talking amongst each other. Netanyahu is a peacemaker, isn't he? I'm surprised you paid advocates are around since Dodge found your slush fund. I bet this loser has nothing but free Palestine flags all over his house and Ukraine flags. Yeah, okay. I'm so glad I wasn't raised in the American school system, because that's all you guys learn all your education on CNN. Bro, it's hard into CNN. It's conservative. I don't know what that is. Vote for Kamala. I'm in Canada. We didn't vote for you guys. When you dress like a GTA side character. Wow. Is that are you attacking the greatness of my style? Please don't. I think I'm fantastically dressed today. That hurt my feelings. Iranian people like more like freedom. Let me see. Jews will come into their fullness. Let me see. Oh, I got a lot of folks out here today. Wakanda. I support your country movie. Anyway, thank you everybody. God bless you all. Thank you for coming on the live. Listen, a lot of things are changing. By the end of today, you still have a teething necklace. This is so funny. This is a necklace from Gambia. This is a Gambian necklace. And so what I try to do on this channel is I try to bring people give people awareness of things that are outside of the catchment of your myopia. All right, so I wear certain things to show people and to teach people that the world is bigger than what is taking place on the western side of the hemisphere, right? So this is a necklace from Gambia, right? So our African heritage is very rich, it's very strong, and so we understand that, you know, most European people of European background, you don't have a lot of culture. Your food doesn't have a lot of spices. You know, we had to teach you, things like washing your hands and things like that. You know, Louis Pasteur figured it out a little bit later than we did. We understand that. So it's okay for you to come on here and criticize me and you don't like my style. It's okay. We taught you style, but it's okay. All right. We taught you a lot of things. We gave you the Bible, right? We gave you sophistication. We gave you mathematics. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I know you got to be kicking and screaming now because the Donald doesn't sound like he's making any sense after declaring that the 12 days war is over and it's day 13. But it's okay. It's okay. All right. So we'll talk soon. Bless all of you. And there's a brother that said, if you don't pray for your enemies, I pray for all my enemies here in the chat. But Israel is not my enemy. The Israeli is not my enemy. They're not my enemy. They're just not my friend. And they're not a friend to the world. And they're demonstrating that. They're not a friend to the people that they've been murdering. They're not a friend to the Christians who are in Palestine. The Afro-Palestinian, they're not a friend to them. The blacks in Dimona, the Jews in Dimona, the Hebrews in Dimona, they're not a friend to them. And they're not a friend to America, right? They are not. They have a Zionist agenda, and that Zionist agenda, if they had the capacity to, a lot of nations would be burnt. All right. God bless you. We'll talk very soon.